and welcome to CNBC TV 18 and Lufthansa's special show, All for This One Moment. I'm Shireen Bhan. Over the next 30 minutes, you get to meet one of India's top business leaders. You get to understand what drives them, what motivates them, and what inspires them. You get to understand what makes them tick, and perhaps see a side of them that you've never publicly seen before. Before I bring out my guest this evening, please join us in seeing this short glimpse into his life. Gautam Thapar, one of India's youngest and brightest global business leaders. But success didn't come easy. Scripting a turnaround of an ailing business empire, his is a story of grit, perseverance and passion. Today, rechristened the Avantha Group, Gautam is driving growth across the conglomerate's varied businesses, from paper, heavy engineering to power equipment. A carefully crafted strategy, including acquisitions and some innovative financial structuring, has helped Gautam infuse a new life into one of India's oldest family businesses. Though more hands-off now, Gautam hasn't lost his natural aggression. As he says, leadership is about desire for power, and power cannot be granted, it has to be taken. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the CEO and Chairman of the Avantha Group, Gautam Thapar. Okay, let me start by what we spoke about you in the introduction there. Yours is really a story of grit, passion, perseverance and determination. It wasn't an easy success story, was it?
Well, now looking back, piece of cake, but then it was tough.
And there was no clarity on your role either.
No, but that was, that's good and there's bad because, when what I've said before, that power is something that you have to take. So that lack of clarity is also an opportunity.
You've preempted my question because I remember reading about you before and you said that, you were an outsider really. You had the family name, but in that sense you were an outsider. Did that really help because you didn't have the baggage of expectations?
While I may not have had the baggage of expectations, it was a bigger struggle because to try and get change done when you've got a whole bunch of people who are coalesced behind a different person is not easy.
But today, as you sit here, heading a $3 billion business group, with the aspiration and the ambition to double it to about $10 billion by 2013. Is there a sense of disbelief? Did you actually believe that you would be able to do this?
When I started out, believe me, I had no idea where we were going. My only task every morning when I woke up was, I hope I go into office today and don't find another problem on my desk.
Were there problems? It was a deluge of problems, is it?
Every day. Starting with the financial ones, which are huge. But there were business problems as well, and to be able to tackle revenue, profitability, discipline. I mean, it is just, and then to think about how to restructure the business, and then the harder decisions, the people issues, how to let them go, how to do it. So at one point in time, I think 98, 99, it was 3 different businesses, the family settlement, and that's when I felt that look, this is not going to be so easy. And whatever my actions may be, the perception was going to be that I have been brought in here, for a different role long term, which is never the case. My uncle's real case was, look, I need somebody here.
And he changed his mind along the way, didn't he?
Did.
Because he didn't have a clear, defined idea of where you were going to end up either.
He told me when I decided I wanted to, was deciding about coming back or staying in the US, he just told me, he says, this is a big tree, it can support many dead branches.
And you didn't want to be a dead branch.
No,
but then you still decided to come back.
Well, I came back. I didn't come back and work. I wasted another year of my life doing nothing, trying to figure out what to do. And then a gentleman by the name of Brijmohan Bakshi, who more than L.L. Thaper was the person who came and basically took me out of whatever it was. He just sit, listen, absorb, and if you have questions, ask questions. Then one day he told me, he took me aside and he says in his own Punjabi, he said, Kaka, you're wasting your time, go make up with your uncle and don't worry about it. But I took his advice and I went to see my uncle and he was just said that, if you're ready to work, sure, start. Join.
All right, on that note, I'm going to actually bring in somebody who's seen you evolve as a business leader and somebody who's sort of seen your growth as a young Indian achiever. Here's Taran Das, the Chief Mentor of the Confederation of Indian Industry, speaking about Gautam's journey so far.
I think what strikes me about Gautam always is his courage. The courage to believe in himself, to courage to believe in the people around him, and the courage to do what he believes is right. That's number one. Second, he is very creative. He is very out of the box. He is not a person who follows the traditional path of whatever you do, you keep doing. He's a driver of change. And this quality has been very important in his turning around the Thapar group.
I think there is a streak in me always that has been independent and has refused to be cowed down by saying that this is a structure and you have to fit in the structure. You know, my view is that structures are to be broken and reset. All right, okay, and then broken again and reset again. The part that he said in his courage, I've never thought of my actions as courageous, but when he puts it like that, I just did what I had to do, I mean, I never looked at it.
Okay, he also said that you were creative and that you think out of the box. What is the most creative thing that you've done?
Oh, I think that the restructurings of Built, not once but twice, maybe thrice, have been complete out-of-the-box thinking by basically saying that, look, I mean, if we're going to do this, the starting point is that it must be fair and equitable to all stakeholders. And then how can we do it? What we did in the last restructuring of Ballarpur is gone down. I mean, I know there are about 10 people who are looking at, what have these guys done? To be able to take a part of the business that the markets are valuing at, probably 1/4 or 1/5, spin it into a subsidiary, get somebody else to pay, 7 and 8 times what anybody else is willing to pay, take that money, return it all to shareholders, reduce your capital. We achieved, I think, 5 or 6 different things in one stroke.
And this for a company that couldn't even repay 300 crores in debt.
Absolutely. So it was my decision after discussion with my uncle, where he stepped down as chairman, that I said I will step up as chairman, but I will step down as managing director. And therefore, no group company will have me as the CEO.
Here's more about Gautam's management style and leadership style from someone who's, again, a very, very close friend of yours, Gautam Taruntelliani.
He tells it as it is. There is no mincing of words. There's no feeling sorry. There's no attempt to sweeten or make any picture rosy. He just is cut and dry.
Are you that cut and dry? You are?
Again, it comes back again to managing people. At the end of the day, if there's bad news, I want to hear it now, and I want to hear it uncluttered, unfettered, in every way. Then I can turn my attention to saying, all right, this is what we need to do. But I get emotional about inefficiency. I get emotional about people who try to, maneuver something or try to hide something or color something. And I always tell them, I said, look, at the end of the day, I'll give you enough rope. You can either you can only do 2 things. Either you'll cut yourself and run free, or you'll hang yourself.
I want to pick up 2 interesting things. One said that you always remind him that business is about numbers, it's about profits, it's not about big bang investments. And this is something that you've said yourself, that you don't really like sexy businesses in that sense. You like heavy asset building businesses. You like businesses with heavy cash flows. That's what you understand, and that's what you like.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the last 3-4 years, I mean, the number of investment bankers who've beaten their sort of path to the door to say we should do this and you should raise billions and you should do that. And my answer was, okay, I'll raise $1 billion and it'll sit on my balance sheet. It'll reduce my returns, and then I'll be under pressure to spend the money, and then we'll probably go out and do something silly, which is not required just because we have the money. And we're conservative. All right, we take risk. I think the acquisitions that Crompton did, the first ones, are all risky. All right, but they were driven by an understanding about my view about what I think was going to happen globally and especially in India.
It has to fit within your strategic vision for where things are headed.
I'm not somebody who's going to go out there and say, here's $1 billion of shareholder capital, let's go out and do this. In my opinion, we never had the time, at least when I was turning things around, to go and play the regulatory game.
Yeah.
All right, so, telecom is a regulatory game, power is a regulatory game, insurance is a regulatory game.
But I thought you were interested in getting into insurance and the financial services.
We've looked at it.
Is this a good time?
No, we think it's not a good time.
No.
We've looked at it and we've just said put it on the back burner. Power generation, yes.
You're investing heavily in that.
Heavily, cash goods, solid assets, 30 years, solid cash flows. You build a business,
Okay, we'll take a quick commercial break and we're going to bring in a twist to this show because we've got a special guest here who's met with Gautam, who's worked with Gautam and has known Gautam for over 8 years now. Come back to us. You're watching CNBC TV 18 and Lufthansa's All for This One Moment.
Our viewers' contest question of the week. Whom does Gautam Thapar consider to be his mentor? A. Lalit Mohan Thapar, B. Brij Mohan Baksh, C. Brij Mohan Thapar. SMS LH moment space followed by option A, B or C to 52622 and win fabulous gift hampers from Lufthansa.